No post-cabinet briefings for 2 years. Lowenfield and Mingo remain silent. And government to use loan for law books access. I'm Enrico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The PPP administration has not held a cabinet press briefing or addressed the media regarding the developments in the oil and gas sector since taking office in August of 2020. Instead, the president has preferred to use Facebook Lives and issue statements, and key ministers have not held press conferences to update the media on their stewardship of major industries throughout the nation. The Guyana Revenue Authority, which has a role in auditing the oil and gas sector, has also not held a press conference since 2020, which is clearly the opposite of transparency. U.S. Ambassador Sarah Ann Lynch met with the mayor of Georgetown to discuss issues related to the city, including its management and the council's relationship with the central government. Since 2020, the opposition-dominated council and the government have been at loggerheads with the mayor, accusing the Ali administration of starving the municipality of critical resources and bypassing the council on major issues related to the city. The mayor also raised issues of democracy, the rule of law, and the treatment of vendors at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Sasnarayan Kaulasar, the current chairman of the GRA and former Minister of Finance, has been named as the next Guyana High Commissioner to India. He is expected to take up the position in the coming weeks, filling the role left by Charandas Prasad, who was recorded verbally abusing an Indian animal rights activist and was forced to return home in the subsequent fallout. And in other India-related news, the president is set to travel to India for a 7-day official visit, during which he will receive the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award, the highest honor conferred on overseas Indians. He will also participate in the Pradesh Government Global Investor Summit and other engagements with officials from the Government of India and Indian private sector organizations. The police have made a breakthrough in the case of several guns being stolen from Radar Security Service. 5 people, including a security official from the company, are currently in police custody. 2 of the stolen guns have been recovered by investigators. Nevertheless, the investigation is ongoing. Roll Richard Haynes, a police corporal, has been charged with 3 counts of money laundering in the Lenora Magistrates Court. He was placed on $200,000 bail, and the case was adjourned until January 17th. Lakeisha Garnett has been charged with manslaughter and remanded to prison after allegedly stabbing her reputed husband to death on New Year's Day. The couple had been arguing, and the man had reportedly slapped Garnett twice before she then picked up a knife and stabbed him in the chest. It's a new year. How about you make your truck run like new with Powered Automotive? Powered Automotive had truck parts and spares from all the major brands you know and love at prices you won't find anywhere else. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles or call or WhatsApp them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. You can multiply your cash by selling Digital Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. The Education Ministry has issued new rules on hairstyles for students in public schools, stating that administrators cannot suspend or send students home over the hairstyles or refuse access to learning. The ministry also prohibited corporal punishment or other forms of punishment for hairstyles and warned that any breaches of the new rules will result in disciplinary action. Former Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield and former Region 4 Returning Officer Claremont Mingo both appeared before the Elections Commission COI and invoked their right to remain silent. They are currently facing criminal charges in the Magistrates Court in relation to allegations of electoral fraud. The reconstruction of the Northwest Secondary School in Mabaruma Region 1 is set to commence soon following the signing of a contract with Aruka Investments. The $346.2 million project is set to be completed in 14 months. The Ministry of Education plans to build new schools at Waramuri, Horosoro, and Quibana over the next few years in an effort to improve education in Region 1. The body of a 52-year-old man was found in a drain in Kurivitan, Berbice. The man, who was diabetic and consumed alcohol frequently, was found by family members after he left his home in the morning. No marks of violence were found on his body. In other gun crime-related news, Police in Georgetown recovered 2 high-powered rifles and ammunition during a patrol. A suspicious man was seen holding a haversack and ran away when he saw the police, but the haversack was recovered and found to contain an AK-47 and an AR-15, as well as various rounds of ammunition, all of which were lodged into evidence. Although, I really wonder how they fit both guns inside of a haversack, but oh well. The Minister of Housing presented certificates of title to 76 residents of regularized sections of Greenwich Park, Stewartville, Highflett Side Dam, and Tushin in Region 3. A total of 174 squatters have lived in these areas for years and were able to register for ownership documents in December of last year. The Central Housing and Planning Authority will continue to process the remaining titles and will work with the remaining squatting areas in the region to deliver titles in the first quarter of 2023. The Ministry has also implemented a structured housing program to eradicate the need for squatting and will relocate and resettle residents in zero-tolerance zones with a humanitarian approach. Their words, not mine. Now for today's oil update. A portion of a $20 million World Bank loan has been used to improve access to reading materials on the oil and gas sector in Guyana. The loan, approved in March 2019 for the Guyana Petroleum Resources Governance and Management Project, was used to hire UK-based company V. Lex Justice to supply legal software for the sector. The software will allow for more efficient legal representation through access to updated oil and gas articles, journals, and books.
As an independent online news entity, being politically objective can cost you a lot of money in lost sponsorship opportunities. That's because most local companies are often too scared to associate themselves with a news entity that is uncompromising with the truth. We do appreciate our sponsors, as their support is what has allowed us to maintain our integrity without fear and remain dedicated to you, our viewers. Every night, thousands of viewers rely on Uncut News because they are tired of the biased and poorly presented mainstream media in Guyana. But to truly compete, we need your help to grow Uncut News from being the most watched online news to the most watched news in Guyana, period. Help us by becoming a monthly subscriber today. There are special rewards at every subscription level, including your name in the credits, personalized gifts, and more. Your monthly contribution helps us to stay independent by spending less time worrying about paying the bills and more time on keeping you informed. So click the link in the description of this video and become a subscriber today.
Robbery season might be over, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's latest car on sale. Currently on sale is this 2016 Toyota Crown Athlete. It comes with Bluetooth mug rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, spot camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $9.95 million. All pay as low as $1.99 million down, with around $170,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lama Street, and tell them Riga sent you for this sweet deal. Now for our Uncut News Viewers Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel a place was. Last night I asked, how do you feel about the mucker situation? But before we get to that, I'd like to say a special thank you to our first paid contributor, David Griffith. Thank you, as your contribution helps us to bring you the news every evening. SCO204 says, in order for the country to grow and move forward, the current infrastructure and land allotment needs to be updated. As long as the people are getting fair market value and healthy compensation for the inconvenience, there should be no issues whatsoever. People need to understand that. But it seems like maybe these demonstrations are politically motivated, which will only halt progress. Also, I hope the road is built properly, not a 2-lane road with narrow lanes made for a motorbike. Guyanese need to raise concerns on how roads are being built. Dwayne Hamlet says they need to do the same thing in every area in Georgetown. Lloyd Bartholomew says the PPP constantly ignored democratic means of consultation with Guyanese of African descent when it decides to displace them, despite the fact that they resided in those locations during the previous reign of the PPP. This unwanted harassment must stop. The people need to stop praying and unite for fairness. Terrence Entry says, squatting is illegal by law, but let's be honest, some people do not have the right set of paperwork to even get a turnkey house, and the ones that do get the turnkey house are put on hold for 7 to 10 years to own a piece of property in this country. It's embarrassing and sad, because these are just people who had dreams of owning or living in their own home, and for years some of these people have been living there and helped build the economy. What happened to respecting our fellow citizen? And finally, Sad Song Slowed says, not going into politics, but if the people were offered free house lots and money and they were given notice, how can Guyana be better if we don't upgrade? People need to cooperate and leave politics aside. And he also tells us the supposed origin of the word politics, meaning many blood-sucking animals. I don't know if that's true, but I always love that quote anyway. Ha-ha! Now for tonight's question. What is something that's going on that you think is not getting enough attention? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out on Monday for another. Until then, I'm Nuka Bullfoot saying have a great weekend. And as always, don't drink and drive. We'll end up on Monday's episode the hard way. Ha-ha! Good night, folks.